Good morning, dear friends. The news with Dr. Michael Leitman. Good morning. A Stanford University professor, Hank Greeley, thinks that in 20 to 30 years, people will be choosing children from a laboratory. We'll go to the lab in order to pick out, well, if I have some disease that I can cure and prevent it from spreading to my children, that should be quite a welcome development. The same holds true in checking the health of the father and mother and making the necessary changes. We're capable of doing this. We already have such tools. So, in order to grow a generation of the so-called a good generation of wholesome Aryans, similar to Sparta or Germany, these are very similar ideas. Humanity has always strived for this. In fact, every person, given the opportunity to have healthy, beautiful, strong, successful children, would want this. So, quite possibly, we're advancing toward it. So, what lies in this expression of conceiving the next degree in love? As it says in Kabbalah even. What does love have to do with it? We're total animals in this regard. We only confuse one with the other. Do animals have love? They sniff each other and determine if this is the right time for procreation. Not sex, but reproduction. For cats, for example, it's the month of March, while the rest of the year they're content to bathe in the sun. This is how it is with animals. But we're confusing pleasure with reproduction. Sex is a pleasure, like from a good food. Why does it have to go together with procreation? Today we see how one has nothing to do with the other. We barely want to conceive one child. Why should we have sex for 50 years then? Every question leads to a dead end. Of course, because humanity has a quite different understanding of it. So I want to ask, what should be the right... No, it's not a matter of different understanding. Humanity doesn't realize where it is. There's no love together with sex, and reproduction doesn't depend on love or even on sex. So, in your opinion, how do you envision a corrected family? It's very difficult for me to describe a corrected family because there, above all problems, first of all, is the attitude of kindness toward each other. We have to change our relationships towards others, and based on that, our whole life will change. Then we'll see how this happens. Without it, it'll surely be awful. With such a kind, ideal relationship with each other within a corrected family, what attitude will there be toward having children? For instance, we have a couple that lives according to the law of loving another like yourself. This is how we live. I think that if we indeed do relate this way to each other, then nature itself will regulate humanity and our relationships. We won't confuse animalistic and human issues. And we'll be looking at life in a whole new way. We can't understand it today. Today, we're confined to an animal existence and an animate family, out of the necessity of being together for the sake of survival and raising children, but there it will be a totally different situation. So it's hard for me to pinpoint, but there definitely will be a whole new attitude towards sex, family, love, procreation, and all new relationships, in accordance with the law of nature. Yes, specifically based on the law of love your neighbor as yourself, we'll realize what is best for us. And we'll no longer need the pill or any contraceptives. No, everything's going to be regulated by nature. We only have to work on our relationships.